Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into the microphone. Why? Well, just because I can. And I continue with Dragon Commander. This Emporium thing is really useful. I have known about it earlier than I've probably be. I think it's not the last battles round, so you can use it the general. It wasn't the last battles at all.
Commander, a tragic incident took place in a busy market hall. Two youngsters came charging in with knives and slashed away at everyone in their path. I believe there were a couple of fatalities even. Now, such random acts of violence are a cause for concern to be true, but some in this room blame it all on violent games and literature. They want to institute a ban for overreacting fools. You wouldn't consider such a thing, would you, Commander?
Yeah, so in general, this is a thing that existed long before video games. People blamed violence on television when it first became prominent, and before probably, presumably, also on books with disturbing topics. But nowadays, from what I understand, there is literally no scientific backing for the idea that violent video games and television directly contribute to violent behavior. And even if they did, it's not a proper reaction. You should educate people, you should talk about it, but you should not ban it, because, to be honest, I think it would even cause a backlash of sorts, especially among younger people who would want to play those games even more because they are banned. Like the forbidden fruit is the sweetest, right? So obviously banning them is not a good idea from whatever standpoint. But again, I am sure Yorick will disagree.
Of course, books that advocate violence should be banned. Of course, such games should be forbidden. If you want our children to read, let them read the 7 scriptures. If you want them to play, let them play 7's hopscotch and say a prayer with every jump and skip.
Now, funnily enough, the Bible and pretty much all of the quote-unquote holy books of different religions are pretty violent in themselves, so...
I'm afraid I must disagree with Trinculo, Commander. Books full of bloodshed and worse tend to play havoc with the spirits of susceptible youths. At best we keep them confined to libraries, where only adults have access to them.
Have you seen kids playing that vile board game, Dragon Commander? As the moving, marauding armies about the map, killing enemies left and right. Of course they're going to be high on violence after a few sessions. Ban it, I say, and ban any game like it.
If fundamental liberty is in danger of being sacrificed, Commander, to censor fiction, to deny it to the populace because, as emotions run high, a few politicians decide said fiction may have influenced the actions of 2 psychopaths, would be a downright criminal thing to do.
Yeah, so I won't ban violent games and literature because I don't think it's a good idea from any standpoint whatsoever.
Right you are, Commander. I used to play Torture the Orc with a carving fork all afternoon back in the day, but I'd never do that to a dwarf or an elf or anyone here represented.
That doesn't sound particularly reassuring.
I'm more than relieved you listened to reason, Commander. To take away the innocent delight of many because of the trespasses of so very few would have been folly indeed.
You let children play or read rot, and it'll rot their brains right and proper. There'll be no set of Dragon Commander in my house, Commander. I'll protect my children from such nefarious influences, even if you won't.
You could have made a stance on morality, Commander. You could have removed blood and boobs from the stores and made them sell botany for beginners instead.
Blood and boobs.
Every teenager in the
That
realm
sounds like a
would
game
have thanked you.
that actually can exist.
Allow corruption to fester, and sooner or later it will come to corrupt you. I bet you were one of those youths that bought a candle under the bedsheet to leer at dirty drawings in the night. That's how fires start, you know. And if you're not lucky enough to come back as an undead, you... But, oh, never mind all that. I seem to have lost my train of thought.
Oh, so he was one of those people who was looking at Playboy magazines under his sheets with a freaking candle and then burned to death and rose as an undead. So that's quite a life story. He's got there. Anything interesting to buy? It's definitely worth it, the building. Okay, next turn maybe I'll be able to make an attack on this region here. Okay, I had a art that could. Oh, actually, yeah, I didn't have that one. I was imagining it. Ah, this is actually pretty good. Yeah, it's definitely worth it. Or I wish I would have known about it earlier. Okay, they have transports. Actually, I can maybe... I don't have any cards that block transport per se. My new plan is basically to move with overwhelming force from one region to the next. I don't think I need any. Build a tavern for free. Be a good plan. And what I will... Okay, check this. Yeah, this is a phenomenal building actually. Actually, I will withdraw those movements because I want to. Okay, I withdraw the purchases as well. Okay. Didn't need to do that. Okay. Yeah, this tactic of moving in overwhelming force seems to be paying dividends. I will definitely build a factory here. I wouldn't mind having another one of those emporiums. I didn't detect that, but maybe I'll have enough of those mercenary cards. Barely survived.
Commander, despite the imp's frivolous nature, they are surprisingly strict and severe in the classroom. In fact, they don't shy away from corporal punishment, with amazing results to show for it. Everybody knows they have the best and brightest students. Therefore, let's make this a nationwide practice, I say. Give every teacher a cat o' 7 tails, one for each of the gods.
Okay, that's obviously a bad idea, and I don't think I need to explain why. Although it reminds me, our Latin teacher in high school had a habit of reminiscing about, the good old days in which you could hit a child's hand with a ruler or something when he was misbehaving, and she was saying that if corporal punishment was still available, we'd all be dead because we're so pathetic at our language skills that we wouldn't survive the punishment.
Of course! What better way to motivate a student than to beat him within an inch of his life? Once more, Yorick herds us all along the tranquil path to enlightenment. Stupid skeletal sadist.
If Yorick thinks I'll support his bid to have our children whipped by teachers, he has another think coming. It'll take you a good long time to catch a dumb dwarf, thank you very much. And if a pupil is being unruly, a good tongue lashing should suffice to set him straight.
I'm actually surprised that whole stuff here is against it, because it seems like a good, proper, conservative idea, the good old days in which you can just beat the shit out of your children when they are misbehaving.
If the imps have to resort to corporal punishment to establish a bit of decorum, I think that simply makes them bad educators. We lizards will have none of such unwarranted harshness.
What can I say, Commander? We imps are the best and the brightest indeed. But because we're born as an unruly and undisciplined lot, we have to use force for our own good. Pleasant to know, though, the undead think we set a good example.
Yeah, so of course I won't allow corporal punishment in the classroom.
Discipline is one of the fundamental virtues as dictated by the Seven, Commander, and it is to be found along the length of a cane. By denying us the use of the whip, you deny us discipline and saddle us with another generation of dullards.
You ease my mind, Commander. Teachers should impart wisdom, not brandish the whip.
Very good, Commander. Besides, any dwarf who doesn't show diligence in economy class sees his savings sink on the stock market, and that hurts him more than any whip could.
There, reason saves the day. For if a tutor is no more than a thug, a teacher he can never be.
If you don't adopt our methods, that's just bad news for the others. But it's a bit insulting you disapprove of our whipping ways. No pain, no gain, Commander. And you've gained so much from us imps.
Okay, I will save because I'm actually not doing half bad on the campaign map this time. Or at least, well, it's not spectacular, but I've gained some ground, which is more than I could say for my previous attempts. So obviously I would like to have a factory here. I think I will demolish this one. Presumably this one as well, actually. That'll give me a huge discount. Now can have no need for a wizard tower, but okay, now I need a couple of transports here. You know what? I will play the card that makes me yawn. Pause. The gold mine here wouldn't be half a bad idea. Because it's like it has a 4 and gold recognition would be +4. Let's see. Okay, so I will build a gold mine here. Ah, damn it. Back one per. Because in truth, I only need one ground unit. Capture the territory, I can do the actual fighting with the fleet and the... Okay, we'll leave this here. In case. I will... Okay, I can actually use this. Buy myself a good contingent of flying troops for defending my fleets, because I think I will make an attack over here, and they then try to conquer this land just to eliminate the spawning enemy fleets. Okay, those transports are all empty. Actually, it's a good idea to probably buy some troops in the capital here. I did buy the... It's a brilliant building. I wouldn't mind having another one of those, to be entirely honest. Buy some additional units here, just in case. You know what? I will actually disregard the assault on here and instead just crawl my way up here at least a little, maybe here, to create a sort of a bottleneck. We'll definitely need additional land units here.
Commander, I would like to raise a concern about public decency. Now, if certain men feel the apparent need to cavort with one of their own sex, I suppose that's their business, not mine. It becomes my business, however, when they engage in affection publicly.
We've had this dilemma already in one of my previous saves, and I explained my reasoning then, so I won't ban public displays of affection from the same sex in public.
Perhaps you enjoy the sight of two men performing intricate feats of tongue wrestling,
Okay, this should be maybe enough, especially coupled with the reinforcement cards from the mercenaries. Those transports worry me a little. Units to the coastal regions. But I have a few mercenary cards to spare, so it won't. Not bad. In case they attack. Okay, obviously I need to rebuild the factory here. I didn't expect that, so it's good I some unit for those coastal regions, especially this side, because this seems to be a constant amount of attack. I think I will extract another fighting force here. We tried to send it over here after all. I've gained some good ground.
Commander, we dwarves would like to place imp surgeons in the hospitals of the realm. With their delicate tools and techniques, they can remove kidneys, lungs, parts of liver, and more from willing donors.
We've had this dilemma as well, so I will allow voluntary organ donation.
Wonderful! Our dear imp physicians will be plucking organs like apples come autumn in...
Okay, and I will send this, maybe along with some flying units, and this island over here to get rid of it, of the factory here. But I didn't want to do that actually, but like constant thorn in my side. No, I didn't. Damn it, I didn't actually move my troops north when I wanted to. Those over here. Wait, who? Okay, it's actually a good moment to save. And see you in the next one. Bye.